What did Paris really look like before the wide boulevards of the modern era? In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic engravings and maps to life. The goal isn't just to look at the past, but to step into it, to move through these scenes and see the city as it once was. Look at this engraving. It is a world of frozen ink and calculated geometry. In these prints, the capital of the world looks organized, stately, clean. But these images are a deception. They are the 18th century version of a filtered feed, meant to project order over a city that was a ticking biological and social time bomb. We are going to move around, change camera angles, and shift perspective. Welcome to Paris, July 1789. To understand the revolution, you have to understand the stench of a city shaped by crowding and centuries of pressure. Paris is a medieval labyrinth trapped in a population explosion. 600,000 souls are packed into narrow, sunless streets where most life is compressed into a narrow strip of land along the Seine. Every day, the city produces over 1,200 pounds of human waste. There are no sewers, only kennels, the open gutters running down the center of the street. If you are walking through the Marais, you aren't admiring the architecture, you are avoiding the Parisian River, a cocktail of urine, bile from the tanneries, and slaughterhouse blood. Contrast this with the Tuileries. Here, the air is heavy with musk, a suffocating sweetness designed to mask the lack of plumbing. But the perfume stops at the gates. By 1789, social stratification is written in the bread. In the salons, they eat refined white loaves, but in the Faubourg Saint-Antoine, the working-class heart of the city, the bread is a gritty grey lump stretched with sawdust. The hunger wasn't just bad luck. In July 1788, a freak hailstorm pulverized the wheat crops. Then came the coldest winter in memory. The Seine froze solid, the watermills stopped grinding. By 1789, the price of a single loaf cost 80% of a laborer's daily wage. Arthur Young, an English traveler in 1789, noted, "The lack of bread is terrible. It is a sight that freezes the blood."
Most of the Paris that sparked the revolution is gone, but through the eyes of the past, we can rebuild the ghosts. Look toward the cemetery of the innocents. For centuries, this ground had risen 10 feet above street level from the volume of corpses. In a horrific event just before the revolution, a cellar wall on the Rue de la Lingerie collapsed, and the rotted remains of 2,000 Parisians burst through the stone into a commoner's home. Then there is the Bastille. It wasn't a noble fortress, it was a crumbling, expensive medieval tax sink. Its towers loomed over the worker districts, reminding everyone of the king's power to imprison anyone for any reason. By 1789, it held only 7 prisoners and was used more for routine guard duty than military defense. And the Tuileries Palace, it stood as a magnificent wall of glass and stone. Today, it is an empty garden. We forget that for years, it was the gilded cage where the royal family was held as prisoners of their own people.
It is July 1789. The temperature is sweltering. The king has just fired Jack Necker, the only minister the people trusted. The news hits the Palais Royal like a lightning strike. The tension isn't just political, it's physical hunger. The order of the engravings doesn't exist when the streets are loud and crowded with desperate people. Thousands of men in damp wool and hobnailed boots begin to move. They have looted 30,000 muskets from the Invalides, but they have no powder. The Bastille has the lead. They march toward the Rue Saint-Antoine. They don't know the terror is coming. They only know they are hungry.
Let's jump forward and see how much has changed. If you stand at the Place de la Bastille today, you won't find a single stone of the fortress. You'll find a traffic circle and a green bronze column. Marie Antoinette never said, "Let them eat cake." That was a myth to justify the violence. The truth was that order is a thin veneer over hunger. Edinburgh and Paris are both cities shaped by layers rather than replacement. The past is still part of the everyday shape. If you were starving in 1789, would you have picked up a pike or stayed behind locked doors? Subscribe for more deep history reconstructions.